Good morning, lighthearted Rainbow Tribe. Welcome to a beautiful, blustery springtime in the Rockies day, where I'm going to encourage you to engage in an extravagant act of love by emptying out, impoverishing yourself of yourself, such that in the silent, still openness, you might be filled with the presence. So let us enter in this act of love. Be still and know this I am only is. I hope that wasn't as much of a shock for you as it was for me. Oh, goodness. To speak of a crazy act of extravagant abundance and love as a daily action, I'm going to speak of two that I recently read about in Cynthia Bourgeault's book, The Wisdom Jesus. Highly recommend it. She talks about O. Henry's classic story, The Gift of the Magi. And there's this husband and wife, these beautiful people, don't live a wealthy life. They're fairly impoverished, hardworking people. And the husband had inherited a beautiful gold watch from his grandfather, and the wife had this beautiful, beautiful, luxurious, long red hair. And Christmas is coming, and they want to give each other a meaningful, beautiful present. And so the man goes and he sells his watch to get his wife a beautiful silver comb to wear in her hair. And in the meantime, she goes and cuts off and sells her hair in order to buy a gold chain for his pocket watch. How beautiful is that? So of course they get to Christmas morning and they give each other their beautiful gifts. And lo and behold, there's no watch for the silver chain and there's no hair for the silver comb. And so these extravagant acts of love resulted in what seems like useless gifts. Is that something to ponder? Because were they useless? They were demonstrations of this extravagant love that will give its best, that the other might have something precious. And no matter whether they had a watch anymore or a hair to put the comb in anymore, they had that. And then Bourgeois goes on to talk about a story called Babette's Feast. There was a movie of that name made, I think, in '87, based on the book, which is much older than that. So there's a woman, Babette. Once upon a time, she was a famous chef and restaurateur in Paris. And then, I think it was the revolution, but I'm not sure, some big thing happened, and she lost everything, and she had to escape. And so she got to Holland and took up residence at a place where these two sisters who were very spiritual lived, and they were trying to carry on the spiritual work of their father. There was a small community of people there, and they had been scrabbling by and not doing very well for a long time. And they were a little unhappy. They were, the community was a little grumpy, a little feeling deficient and disconnected to some degree. And Babette came and did what she could because she enjoyed being a part of this community. Well, then one day she gets notice that she won the lottery back in France, 2 million francs. And what she does is she creates a feast, right? Babette's Feast. She creates a feast for this community, and she not only imports all the wonderful foods that she could make when she was a famous chef in Paris, but she gets the table and the chairs and the linens and the silver and the crystal and the whole 9 yards. I mean, she just creates an abundant extravagance of an incredible meal for this community. And so they have this incredible meal and they enjoy it to the fullest. And they go out and they're slightly tipsy and they're just enjoying the beautiful day and evening. And they say to her, well, now you're free. Now you can do anything you want, that you've got all this money. And she says, I spent every centime on this feast. I have nothing left. All over in a single extravagant act, one evening. What she gave them was she reflected to them, she offered an outpicturing of all of their faithfulness in loving the truth, loving God first and foremost in their life. And that is timeless. It was such an extravagant gift that it goes beyond the norm. It's a gift that will keep on giving, because they will always have it in their hearts and their minds that someone from amid their midst, because she had joined this community, demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt this abundant, extravagant act of love as a reflection of their own beings, their own hearts. Now, Bourgeois is talking about the wisdom of Jesus here, and of course the most extravagant gift any human being is given to the human race are the ones that Jesus gave, most particularly the one in which he gave his very life, to demonstrate, without a shadow of a doubt, the truth that this presence of being, this all-loving intelligence, this all-powerful, glorious, almighty presence is greater than and supersedes any power on earth, including the power of people to take away one another's lives. He demonstrated that as a crazy act of extravagant love that is still working on the consciousness of human beings to this day. We're still trying to comprehend what that was all about and what that means. As I was contemplating this last evening, what dawned here is the recognition that this right here, right now, this videoing, is an act of extravagant love. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever in the way that the world thinks for someone to spend her time and energy showing up here every day, pretty much without fail. I mean, I've had to skip a few here and there, to offer out for free with no sales pitch. No, come hither and get what I've got and pay the price for it. This is an act of extravagant love, and I just loved that dawned on my consciousness. It's just like brightened my whole system right up. And I began to look at what it is like for us to live in the flow of this love that we are, giving itself extravagantly. It's what I've talked about before here about Kenosis, the teaching of Jesus. It's this giving forth, this emptying out, this offering of everything, without stinting, without holding back, without holding on. And Bourgeault makes this beautiful distinction, and one of the things that I see is that it's a matter of both and. But she talks about how a lot of religions are focused on the ascension to the transcendent, and that you get to the point of origin in the ascension to the transcendent, and that's the goal of a lot of wisdom traditions on the planet. But what she points out about Jesus is that the radical difference of the offering that he makes is this being so here and fully human and offering everything, including one's life, for the truth to be demonstrated as what is. And the extreme of it, to undergo a painful, torturous death process in order to demonstrate that this glory of God, this that is what we are, that is within everyone, because that's what he kept saying. It's not me. There's nobody here doing this. It is our own withinness, the presence of being itself, that does this work, that does it all, and that is not at all caught within the psychodrama, the mesmerism, the trance, the sleep state of human consciousness in division from its essence. So over and over and over in this very short 3-year ministry, he demonstrated that none of that has any power whatsoever. And then he put his own life on the line to demonstrate it. Holy fool, crazy gift of abundant, extravagant, unstinting love. This is our mission. Yeah. Doesn't matter what the form is that it takes. Whatever it is that inspires you. Babette had no idea what it was until suddenly there was the means and the opportunity. That beautiful young couple, they had nothing but a golden watch and beautiful hair. They gave what they had. It's not the results, it's the action. So I leave you with the opportunity to discover in what way every day you might engage in an extravagant act of love, and see what happens in your life and in the life of the world. As always, deep appreciation for your participation, your willingness to live lighthearted, this lighthearted mystery, to be in the open, vulnerable discovery that we of ourselves do nothing, and what it is to live this in the heart of truth. May all being awaken from the dream of separation and be touched deeply by the presence of this extravagant love as it works in and through all of us.